After the birth of their miracle child, Amarachi and her husband entered a new season, not just of love, but of purpose, of vision, of building something that would outlive them both. This is Chapter 5: How They Built Generational Wealth. Their baby lay asleep between them, tiny fingers curled around Amarachi's hand. Her husband looked at their child and whispered,
We can't leave this world and leave nothing behind. We must build something our children can stand on.
Amarachi nodded. She wasn't thinking of riches. She was thinking of security, legacy, options, a future where her children would never start from nothing. And so they began, not with money, but with mindset. They bought books, attended webinars, watched financial classes while rocking the baby to sleep. Every night after dinner, they studied investment strategies, real estate, retirement accounts, business development, insurance, wealth protection. Sometimes they disagreed. Sometimes they got overwhelmed. Sometimes the numbers scared them. But they kept going, because their why was sleeping in the next room. The first rule they adopted: pay us first. Before bills, before entertainment, before anything unnecessary. Every month, 5% to emergency savings, 10% to retirement, 10% to investments, extra income to debt reduction. No matter how small the amount was, they were consistent. They learned something powerful. Wealth doesn't come from how much you earn, but how much you keep. Their first investment was tiny, just a few $100s in an index fund. But they celebrated like they had bought a mansion, because it wasn't about the size, it was about the seed. Then they invested again, and again, and again. Slowly, their portfolio grew. Index funds, dividend stocks, low-risk bonds, retirement accounts, a small business venture, a savings plan for their child's education, life insurance, and wealth protection strategies. They didn't take crazy risks. They took consistent steps. 2 years later, with discipline and teamwork, they bought their first home. The day they got the keys, Amarachi cried. Not because of the house, but because of what it represented: stability, safety, foundation. They stood in the empty living room holding hands while their child ran around laughing.
This is just the beginning.
He had always dreamed of owning a consulting practice. She had always dreamed of a wellness and lifestyle brand. Instead of choosing one dream, they built both, together. She became his advisor. He became her strategist. They brainstormed ideas during date nights. They made business plans while feeding the baby. They stayed up late designing logos and researching markets. Their businesses didn't explode overnight. But month after month, they grew. Clients came, partnerships came, opportunities followed. Soon the businesses began generating income that wasn't tied to their daily labor. This was the beginning of freedom. While other children heard bedtime stories about princesses, their child heard stories about saving, investing, taking responsibility, faith, giving, building, purpose. They taught their child simple things. You must save something from every gift. You must always share what you earn. Money is a tool, never your master. Your mind is your first wealth. By age 5, their child already knew, my parents are building something for me, and I will build something for my children too. That is how generational wealth begins, not with money, but with mindset. It wasn't always easy. They sacrificed vacations, skipped unnecessary purchases, turned down luxury items, cut back on entertainment, chose discipline over impulse. Some days they argued, some days they doubted. Some days they asked themselves, are we doing enough? But every time they looked at their child, their fire returned. They were not building for today. They were building for tomorrow, for their grandchildren, for future generations, born and unborn. One evening, after reviewing their investments, Amarachi looked at the numbers and felt her heart swell. We started from nothing. Look at what we've built. No, my love. Look at what God and unity built. They kissed, not like newlyweds, but like partners who had climbed mountains together. In that moment, Amarachi realized generational wealth isn't money, it's unity, it's vision, it's love that plans beyond itself. By their 10th anniversary, they had their dream home, a strong emergency fund, retirement savings, investments that grew yearly, 2 profitable businesses, a trust fund for their children, life insurance policies, a clear estate plan, a family culture of faith, discipline, and love. But more important than all of that, they had peace. They had built a life where their children would never have to start from zero. A life where opportunities would flow across generations. a life where their family name meant security, wisdom, and honor. We did it. We truly built a legacy, and this legacy will outlive us both. Their story, once filled with heartbreak and waiting, had become a golden blueprint of love, partnership, vision, and generational wealth. And that is how Amarachi and her husband didn't just build a life, they built a legacy.